Hello everyone, my name is Muhammad Putra Wulinairis. I am a student at the Faculty of Computer Science majoring Information System. My student ID is 0903-12823-28073 and I am from class Sirek 4A. In this video, we will walk through several fundamental Linux commands, including directory structure creation, file manipulation, file permission, symbolic links, and user mask. For the demonstration, we will be using Kali Linux, so let's get started. First, we will create the required directory structure as per the given instruction. The main directory should be created under /home/mahasiswa and must be named with the student's name and full name. To do this, we need to run mkdir-p/home/mahasiswa name and underscore full name. So, mkdir-p to ensure that if any parent directory missing, it will be created. So, inside this directory, we need to create 3 subdirectories like document, code, and arsip. And to do that, we need to use this command like mkdir/home/mahasiswa/name_full-name/document and /code/arsip, just like this and in the picture. And each mkdir command creates a new directory inside the main folder. And next, let's verify that the directory structure has been created correctly using 3 commands. To see it, we need to type like 3/home/mahasiswa/name and underscore full name. And the output should be like this, like we have arsip, document, and code. In this section, we will create, copy, move, and display files using Linux commands. First, we create a file named identitas.txt inside the document directory. This file will contain personal information including name, student ID, and program of study. We can use the echo command to write data to the file just like this, echo -e, and then we input our name, and program study. And then we use symbol greater than and to input it on home/mahasiswa/name underscore full name/document and /identitas.txt. This command writes multiple lines to text of identitas.txt. Next, we copy identitas.txt from the document directory to the arsip directory and rename it as identitas_backup.txt. And this can be done with the cp command, just like the cp/home/mahasiswa/name underscore full name /document /identitas.txt, and then we input again like /home/mahasiswa/name underscore name /arsip/identitas_backup.txt. The cp commands create a duplicate file while renaming it in the destination directory. Now, we move the original identitas.txt file from the document directory to the code directory using the mv command. And then we use it like mv/home/mahasiswa/name underscore full name /document /identitas.txt, and then we input again /home/mahasiswa/name underscore full name /code. So after this step, the document directory no longer contains an identitas.txt. Instead, it is now in the code directory. And to verify that identitas_backup.txt was successfully copied, we displayed its content using the cat command. And then we use like cat/home/mahasiswa/name underscore full name /arsip/identitas_backup.txt, and it will command it like this. This command prints the file content on the terminal. It have like name, and prodi. In this step, we modify file permission to control access to identitas_backup.txt. A. Changing file permission. We use the chmod command to set permission where the file owner has read and write access like rw strip or 6 in numeric code. The group has read-only access like r strip or 4, and the other user have no access like strip or 0. So the command is as follow like chmod 640, and then we type again /home/mahasiswa/name underscore full name /arsip, and then /identitas_backup.txt. Next, we now change the file ownership to root and assign the group ownership to staff using the chown command. And then it's like sudo chown root staff/home/mahasiswa/name underscore full name /arsip/identitas_backup.txt. This ensures that only root and members of the staff group can manage the file. After that, we're gonna verify file ownership and permission. To confirm this change, we use ls-min-l command. And then we use the like ls-min-l /home/mahasiswa/name_fullname/rc/identitas_backup.txt. This displays detail the file attributes including ownership and permission. It's like this, like one root staff 72 mar 14 1134. So the next one is we're gonna talk about symbolic link or symlink. So symbolic link is a special type of that serves as a pointer or reference to another file or directory, unlike hard links which point directly to the intent of a file. Symbolic links simply store the path to the target file. This allows the user to create shortcuts to frequently access files or directories without duplicating their contents. And then there's an advantage of symbolic links. The first one is avoiding redundancy, in easy update, and a better file organization. And then we're gonna talk about implementation and analysis. Like the first one, creating a reference file. The first, we create a text file containing documentation information. This will later be linked using a symbolic link. And then we're gonna use this like echo, like ini adalah dokumentasi sistem operasi milik Muhammad Fernandes dengan NIM 0903188073. Nah, and then we're gonna step like and the /home/mahasiswa/name/fullname/document/referency_name.txt. After that, we're gonna create a symbolic link. We create a symbolic link named shortcut_name.txt that points to reference_name.txt. We're gonna use like ln-s, and then we type /home/mahasiswa/name_fullname/document/reference_name.txt. After that, we're gonna type again /home/mahasiswa/name_name/documents and then /shortcut_name.txt. After we creating a symbolic link, we're gonna use a verified symbolic link to check whether the symbolic link has been created successfully, so we can release the directory contents with detailed attributes. And then we use type like ls-l/home/mahasiswa/name_fullname/document. And then we're gonna have like output like this with a total 8, just like the picture in here. After that, we're gonna modifying the original file. Now we update the content of the reference file we using echo like dokumentasi telah diperbarui oleh M. Putra Winalis. And then we input it on /home/mahasiswa/name_fullname/document and /referency_name.txt. And after that, we're gonna check the symbolic link content to verify if the change reflect in the symbolic link. We display content using cat/home/mahasiswa/name_fullname/document/shortcut_name.txt, and then we're gonna have an output like dokumentasi telah diperbarui oleh M. Putra Winalis, just like that. Next, we're gonna talk about user mask or UMask. UMask is a system settings that defines the default permission for newly created files and directories. When a new file or directory is created, its default permission are determined by subtracting the UMask value from the system-based permission. For example, file's default permission is 666, meanwhile directory's default permission is 777. The UMask value is subtracted from this base permission to determine the final permission of a new file or directory. So the next one is we're gonna checking the default mask. Before modifying anything, we check the system current UMask setting. We use like command like this UMask. On most Linux distribution, the default mask is 002, which means newly created files will have 644 permission. And then next, we're gonna changing the UMask to 027. Now we change the UMask to 027 to enhance the security, restricting access from the other users. We use UMask 027 just like this. And this means the newly created files will now have 640 and newly created directories will have 74750. And after that, we're gonna create a new file named data_name.txt. We're gonna use this like touch/home/mahasiswa/name_fullname/document/data_the name and .txt. And after that, we're gonna verify the effect of the new UMask. We check the file permission using ls ls min_l /home/mahasiswa/name_name/document/data name_txt, and we're gonna have an output like this. The Emacs setting controls default file and directory permission by subtracting its value from the system defaults. For example, with Emacs 027, new files will get 640, allowing the owner full access, the group read-only, and blocking others. Directories get 750, restricting access. Similarly, this enhances security, preventing unauthorized access in multi-user environment, and a secure Emacs like 077 limits access to only the owner, ideal for sensitive data, while a more permissive Emacs like 022 allows broader access and increasing risk. The proper Emacs settings will help balance and security and accessibility. And that concludes our tutorial on setting up a working environment in Linux. We covered how to create directories, manage files, set access permission, use symbolic links, and configure user mask. I hope this tutorial was helpful for you. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.